It may be the last place you think to look, but if you use your Kroger Plus card every time you come to shop, you may want to check out your receipt before putting anything in your cart. With about 2,800 votes for the school levy and a little over 1,500 votes against the school levy, the Board of Trustees approved a measure to increase room and board rates for next year to accommodate all the renovation being done at dorms around campus. And even though that means a higher cost for students, one parent says it's all part of the big price tag. It's there on the third floor of the McCain campaign headquarters where all the planning and organization comes together. Mearstein's in charge of deciding who should come to the Buckeye State next and what volunteers can do to get the McCain-Palin ticket elected. But Aramet says they operate within the legal standards for emissions set by the Ohio EPA and federal authorities.
I can't stay alone at night in my house. I'm terrified. I'm truly terrified of this man.
Jana was just 9 years old when her mother was murdered by her father. And yet 30 years later, the pain is still there for both Jana and her sister Andrea, who was pleased with the parole board's decision.
I feel it honors the memory of my mother and honors and respects us for what we've been through. And I really appreciate that.
64-year-old William Klum was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison in 1977 for killing his wife Francine Klum and dumping her body in a creek near Athens. Francine and Klum's daughters explained to the board today how this man and his actions have changed their lives.
I'm terrified for myself, for my family, for my sister. I also believe that he would seek her out.
Klum will not be able to be considered again for parole until 2017, and Jana says that she's comforted knowing she and her family will be safe.
I really feel like the board made the right decision. I feel like this is a dangerous man who should remain in prison, and grateful that he will. And I really felt like my sister and I and our families got, another 10 years of safety.
Reporting for WOUB News, I'm Jessica Demchar. His shoes are still sitting right outside of his motel room door, but 54-year-old Larry Cox will no longer be using them. The construction worker's body was found in the parking lot of the Island View Motel in Gallipolis last night, and his brother, Chuck Dolan, is hoping the police will find who is responsible.
I'd like to know who did it and like from catch them, and punish them the way they should be punished.
The coroner came, pronounced him dead. Body's been sent to Montgomery County, and we're investigating further on the circumstances surrounding the death.
Cox had been living in Gallipolis while working for a construction firm. According to a police report, Cox's body was found here across from his motel room door with apparent broken bones and teeth missing. Reporting for WOUB News, I'm Jessica Demchar.
My name is Mike, and I'm a volunteer calling on behalf of the Ohio Republican Party.
Hours of phone calls asking people if they support John McCain and the Republican Party. But it's worth it for many volunteers who want to contribute all they can.
And every minute I got a chance to run down here, I'm going to support everybody, and if they need me to pitch in to do something, I'm going to do it.
John Husted, Ohio House Speaker and co-chair of the Ohio McCain campaign, emphasizes the importance of volunteers spreading the word.
You figure out how can I make a difference, and it's about people and families and neighborhoods talking to their family and friends and neighbors about why they believe in John McCain.
But some people aren't necessarily receptive to that message.
This is such an important election that you get people with strong opinions either way, and I'm glad to talk to the people who agree with me, and the people who disagree, I respect their decision.
Though some calls don't always go as planned, sometimes the volunteers get the opportunity to help an unsure voter.
Just a while ago, the man didn't know who he was going to vote for. I think I've convinced him to vote for McCain.
And in the last 4 weeks until the election, every last volunteer is trying to get as much support as they can.
I'm here to try to reach out to more people who might be a little bit apprehensive about getting out and volunteering, or might encourage more people to go and vote.
In Columbus, Jessica Demchar, 19 Action News. Despite a freeze in tuition charges at Ohio University, students planning to live in residence halls next year will pay more for room and board. The Board of Trustees approved a measure to increase room and board rates for next year to accommodate all the renovation being done at dorms around campus. And even though that means a higher cost for students, one parent says it's all part of the big price tag.
Whether it's 20, 30, 40% of total cost for the year isn't all that important to me as much as my student being happy with the university she chooses.
Room fees will increase by 8.5% in the fall, and board will go up by 3.5%. OU's Vice President for Finance and Administration says fees will continue to increase in coming years as well to accommodate the university's 10-year renovation plan.
And I believe that plan called for increases each year for the first 5 years, I think, of that 10-year plan.
But some students say they understand.
I mean, I think the renovations are necessary, but for people that are already struggling enough to get through college and struggling with paying bills and things like that, I think it's kind of difficult for them.